And we are live. We are live. I think we're live. Yeah, we are live. We're definitely live. Just really a quick one, to be honest. Nothing too serious. I'm only really going to be going on for like an hour, you know. Nothing too crazy, you know. Nothing too crazy. Okay, let me get rid of that. Yo, big up to ABC Def. Hopefully you're doing well, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, just a quick one, man. Just a quick one. Maybe an hour, something like that. Just a solo one, you know, bit of time to kill. So yeah, I thought I'd fire one up. Why not, right? Why not? Dominic Chetchery, big up to Dominic as well. Hopefully you're doing well, Dominic. Not seen you for a while, man. Hopefully you're doing well. But yeah, man. Still getting through this lockdown. You know what I mean? Levi Khan, big up to Levi Khan, another one of the regulars. Jim McDonald. Yo, what's up, man? What's going on, Jim? What's going on, Jim? Still stuck in the Rovers return. Quarantining in the Rovers return with Liz. Having a good time. Big up to Jim. Oh yeah, the last stream was pretty good, ABC Def. I definitely had to private that one. No doubt about it. That had to be privated. It really had to. But yeah, good stream that was. Good fun. A good laugh. No doubt. No doubt. Oh yeah, Dominic, I've not seen any full matches of the Bundesliga, but I've been watching the highlights. Good to see some live sport again, you know, some proper football, you know, big league, encouraging signs. Plus, we've had the UFC recently as well, have a few events. So the sporting world is starting to recover slowly but surely. And yeah, hopefully from June, we're going to get some boxing. Looks like Top Rank are going to put on some cards, you know. Shakur Stevenson, he's going to be fighting early June. So I guess that's something to look forward to. Unrivaled boxing talking news. What do you think the best remedy is for an itchy taint? Good shout. I don't know, you know. Maybe a hot shower, a scalding hot shower. The question is, how have you got an itchy taint? That's the question, you know. Levi Khan, AJ versus Pulev exhibition in December. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Levi. With that fight in particular, listen, just get that fight done as soon as possible. Crowd or no crowd, get Pulev out of the way. Pulev's been hanging around like a bad smell for years now. Let's be honest about it. This guy, man, this guy's been holding up the IBF rankings for what, since 2017? Listen, Kubrat Pulev is like old Yeller. He needs to be put down. As soon as Joshua knocks that dude out, the better, to be honest. He needs to be taken out on a stretcher, right? We need to see Pulev gone. We need to see Povetkin gone. We need to see Luis Ortiz gone. All of these old boys need to be dealt with. They really do. We need some new blood in this division, man. Get these old boys out of here. Let's get Hergovich in there. Makhmadov. Let's get some of these young boys fighting, man. Get these young boys in the rankings. Big up to Piston Jab Liston. I like the name, by the way. I like the name. He says Pulev and the new. You never know, man. Boxing's a strange sport, but I think Pulev is shot to bits. I really do. I was concerned when Pulev was getting buzzed up by Huey Fury. He got buzzed by Huey with a right hand, you know? That's concerning. The Bogdan Dinu fight, he was getting touched up, you know, getting caught a lot. He looked terrible in the Rydell Booker fight. I think Pulev's been done for a long time. And, you know, careful matchmaking is the reason this guy's still winning fights, to be honest. I think anybody in the top 10 smokes Pulev right now. I really do. I think Pulev is there for the taking. Yo, Jackal Davis, man. Big up to you, man. Big up to Jackal Davis. Another one of the long-term supporters. Crazy D3 as well. Yeah, exactly. Pulev got buzzed by Bogdan Dinu. He got buzzed by Huey Fury. This guy is going to get taken out quick by Joshua, to be honest. I'm not the biggest Joshua fan, but I can't see that fight going any other way apart from a Joshua early knockout, first 4 rounds kind of thing. Yeah, Joshua needs to make a statement in that fight. You can't be carrying Pulev, man. Get this guy out of here. I'm tired of Pulev. I'm tired of Povetkin. I'm tired of Ortiz. Let's get these young boys in the rankings. That's what you want to see, man. That's what I want to see anyway. I can't speak for you guys. Yeah, exactly, Levi. 100%. Pulev's been cooked for years. On Rival Boxing Talk and News, he says, Dell, I'm setting up a new boxing community. Would you be interested? Hashtag BFU. Enlighten me, Unrivaled. I'll be interested, no doubt. But yeah, what's BFU? Enlighten me, my good sir. Enlighten me. Jackal Davis, he says, Dell, please tell me why I'm seeing people saying that if Danny beats Spence, it makes him a Hall of Famer. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I mean, listen, Danny would be, well, he is a 2-weight world champion. He had a pretty good run at 140. If he beats Errol Spence, it's good for his resume. But, I mean, I guess you've got to say, the argument is, well, Arturo Gatti's in there. Barry McGuigan's in there. So Danny Garcia, I guess, would have a case. But, you know, that's the thing with Hall of Fame. We can't really judge it by the lowest common denominator, which is Arturo Gatti and Barry McGuigan. But at the same time, those guys are in there. And better fighters are not in there. So I don't know, man. I'm not one of these people to ask about Hall of Fame. You know, Unrivaled, Boxing Librarian, all of these guys are better people to ask. Me personally, I don't really care about Hall of Fame, if I'm being honest. You know, I just want to see the best fights right now. And yeah, that's all I want to see, man, ultimately. Nick Campbell, Marvin Hagler versus Roy Jones at middleweight. Who you got, Del Boy? Greetings from the USA. Big up to Nick Campbell. Hopefully you're doing well, Nick. Marvin Hagler, Roy Jones. I would take Roy Jones on points, to be honest. I think Roy Jones would be a bit too athletic, a bit too quick, and I think he'll take it on points. Hagler would have his moments, but Roy Jones head-to-head at his best is a very hard fighter to pick against, to be honest. Roy Jones at his best was a phenom, in all honesty. Excellent, excellent fighter. But yeah, I've got him over Marvin Hagler. Time for some Matchroom in-house tournaments. Yeah, good shout. AA Boxing and Blunts. Good shout. You know, a fight I want to see from Matchroom is Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Johnson. I want to see that fight badly. I mean, it goes to show Eddie Hearn's hypocrisy, really. When Anthony Yarde was on the come-up and Anthony Yarde wasn't fighting any domestic fighters, Eddie Hearn was on Anthony Yarde's case for not doing that. Well, why is Eddie Hearn not matching Callum Johnson and Joshua Buatsi? Why is that not happening? He was more than happy to have Johnson and Yarde. Why not Johnson and Buatsi? Why not? Come on now. That fight needs to happen. That fight needs to happen. Yeah, Nordic, 100%. Hall of Fame is subjective, yeah. 100%. But I don't really care about it, in all honesty. I'll never really have. I never really have. But I get people who do, right? You know, it's one of those things. Yeah, the slag of a group. Yeah, big up to Nordic Warrior as well in the chat. Big up to you. Carlos Mendoza, Gatti is in the Hall of Fame because of Gatti Ward. Yeah, Gatti Ward is a historic fight because people are always going to talk about it, even in 50 years from now. People are always going to go back to that fight. So I guess he did actually stake his place in history in that regard. But in terms of being the best of his era or building an amazing resume, he never really did that, to be honest. He never really did that. Gatti was a good, fun fighter, an honest fighter, a fighter who I could watch all day, but he was never one of the best. He was never one of the best. MB, do you think Sky would have charged Matchroom for the venue if they supplied the studio? So that's why Hearn's doing it in his back garden and pocketing the venue money. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to save on venue costs if Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn does it in the back garden. Yeah, 100%. They're going to save some money, you would imagine. Maybe that's why they're doing it. But listen, I'll watch a fight in a back garden right now. Listen, I've seen plenty of fights in back gardens in my time. So I've got no problem seeing a fight in a marquee in someone's garden. Why not? I've been to some wedding parties back in the day. You know, some fights broke out. Been there, done that. I like the format. But yeah, I'll watch any fights. I don't really care about crowds right now. Unrivaled. If Fury fights AJ and beats him in Eddie's house, will he scream, "I beat him in his back garden like I done Klitschko"? Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, big up to Triple J. Big up to Triple J. Oh, dear. Imagine having White versus Povetkin in your back garden. Exactly. I'll definitely watch that in my garden. I wouldn't close the curtains on that fight. I'll tell you that now. That'd be a great fight to watch. I think that's a risky fight for Dillian White, to be honest. Povetkin's going to be very dangerous early on in the first 3 to 4 rounds. Dillian does get hit. Dillian's been dropped. Dillian's been hurt. You never know, man. If Povetkin could catch Dillian White square on with that left hook, who knows what could happen? It's a risky fight, considering Dillian White's #1 contender. I think that's a risky fight. And it's a perfectly acceptable fight, in my opinion. I like the fight. I will give Dillian White his credit. He does fight people. I will give him credit. I don't like the whole victim thing he's playing right now about how he never gets title shots because he's had opportunities. You know, he could have fought Pulev in an eliminator. He could have fought Joshua in a rematch, but he didn't do that. So I can't really sit here and say he's a victim of boxing. He's not. But, you know, he has fought some good guys. I'll give him credit. He's fought some good guys. Jesus. We're on the old water tonight, lads. A bit of H2O. You know, being healthy tonight. Being healthy. Being healthy, man. Levi Khan. Now, this is a very good question. Who's your favourite fighter of all time with 20-plus losses on their record? That is a very good question, Levi. Very good question. The name that comes to mind right now is Glenn Johnson. I like Glenn Johnson a lot. I think he was a very underrated fighter. I actually thought Glenn Johnson beat Chad Dawson, in my opinion, in that first fight. But yeah, Glenn Johnson, he was a good fighter with a bad record. There's a few out there. There's a few out there, man. I know he doesn't have 20 losses, but I like Gabe Rosado. He's a fighter I like. You know. Hang on, Jay's Boxing Universe. Have you ever watched Street Beefs? It's pretty entertaining for me in these times. I've never heard of it. If it's a YouTube channel, I'll definitely check it out. Seeing some street fights. Yeah, Emmanuel Augustus, MB. That's another one. He was good fun to watch. He was good fun to watch. Yeah, Nordic. Yeah, I think I do believe Povetkin is too old, but in those first 4 rounds, man, I still think he's going to be dangerous. I think he's going to be dangerous. He can still punch. He can still whack. Dillian's not the best defensive fighter out there, so you never know, man. You never know. I do think he's got an element of risk to it for Dillian White. If he's caught slipping, who knows what could happen? Who knows? Yo, Apology Man in the chat. Big up to Apology. Hopefully you're doing well, Apology Man. Hopefully you're doing well. Oh yeah, Nordic. I felt Glenn Johnson clearly beat Chad Dawson in that first fight. He lost the rematch decisively, but that first fight, I thought he won that. He hurt Chad Dawson a number of times. He was pushing him back. He was the aggressor. He was landing all the shots. I don't know how Chad Dawson won that fight, man. I really don't. Yeah, Darnell Boone. That's a good shout, Max Kuckerman. Darnell Boone, he dropped Andre Ward. He dropped Kovalev. He knocked out Adonis Stevenson. Darnell Boone was a good journeyman. He could punch. He could punch. Darnell Boone's one of those guys, if he had like a good promoter from the start, maybe that guy would have been a better fighter, you know, maybe a contender or something like that. But he could certainly punch. He could certainly punch. Where do you rank Jojo Diaz at 130 pounds? I would say Miguel Berchelt is #1. After that is take your pick. I might have Jojo Diaz as #2, to be honest. Yeah, I might have Jojo as #2 at 130. Yeah, Glenn Johnson, yeah, I felt he beat Chad Dawson. Apology, man. Yeah, he was definitely a victim of politics that night, no doubt. He also came unstuck against Clinton Woods. I felt he beat him when he drew in that fight as well. Big up to Boxing Virus in the chat as well. Dominic Chechery, he says, I realised today Luton Town FC ground. Yeah, you got to walk through somebody's garden to get to it. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Luton, man. Luton's not a great place to go to, bro. Listen, I came up in Luton back in the day, right? I spent far too much time there doing things I shouldn't be doing. But yeah, it's not a great place. It's got even worse now, actually. Since I used to run around Luton, it's got even worse. Unfortunately. Jackal Davis, Dell, are you still training or getting a good run in? I'll be honest with you, Jackal Davis. I'm still ticking over. I'll still work the heavy bag now and again. I do my sit-ups, my push-ups, but I've kind of stopped the road work. I've kind of stopped running. I have to say, I can't sit here and lie to you guys, man. I've been slacking. I've been slacking. Yes, sir, Nick Harmer. Smash the like button, lads. Be much appreciated. Yeah, this one's really just a quick one, boys. Maybe an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Just really a catch up with you guys. Had nothing better to do, so why not? Why not? Crazy D3, have you met Tommy Robinson? No, I haven't. I've not met him, man. I've not met him. I know somebody who actually knows him, but I've not met him. Yeah, smash the fucking like. Yes, sir. Big up to Johnny boy. Hopefully you're doing well, Johnny. Hopefully you're keeping well. Okay, Dominic. Oh, you're from near me. You're kind of near me then. If you're near Luton, you're near me, Dominic. You're kind of near me. Yeah, I don't really muck around in Luton anymore. I mainly Bedford area kind of thing. Tommy, Nordic Warrior, you literally stole the words out of my mouth. With Tommy Robinson, you need to see where the money follow the money with Tommy Robinson. That's all I've got to say on that guy. The guy is he's not to be trusted. He's not to be trusted, no doubt. Follow the money. Max Kuckerman, is there any news when boxing will return? Well, Top Rank are talking about June. They're saying, Shakur Stevenson could be fighting June 9th. I know that's not much to look forward to, but it is boxing. It is boxing. I'll really watch anything right now. And I'm not the biggest Shakur Stevenson fan, I've got to say. His style doesn't really do it for me, but fuck it, I'll watch anything. I'd watch two fucking homeless people fight right now over a chicken nugget. That'd be some great fight. I'll stick that on pay-per-view. If I could go to a fucking alleyway and find a tramp fight, I'll stick that on live stream, put it on pay-per-view. Do you know what I mean? I'll watch it though, no doubt. I'll watch anything. I'll watch Kevin Johnson versus Marius Wack. I'm kind of looking forward to that fight. That's how desperate I am. I sit here and complain about boxing when we have it, but now I'm fucking missing it badly. I'm missing it badly. How can you be? What the fuck is wrong with me, man? How the fuck can I look forward to Kevin Johnson versus Marius Wack? I'm some fucking boxing junkie, going through fucking withdrawals. Christ's sake. Christ's sake. Yeah, exactly, man. Over a chicken nugget. Yeah, alley fights. That's what we need right now. We need some bum fights, alley fights, crackhead fights. That's what we need right now in the world. Maybe just me. Maybe just me. Yeah, exactly, Nordic. We've got problems, man. Kevin Johnson versus Marius Wack. Kevin Johnson, the man who throws one jab every 4 rounds, versus Marius Wack, a guy who is shot to bits. Although Marius Wack actually performed pretty well against Dillian White, I've got to say, he impressed me in that fight. I wasn't really expecting that. Yeah, apology, man. Yeah, man. I know what you mean. Yeah, parks and supermarkets are open, but that's pretty much it. Hospitals, supermarkets, parks, that's really all that's open around here as well. I'm desperate for a fucking haircut. I'd fucking murder somebody for a haircut. I'd pay 50 quid for a haircut right now, man. But I don't want to go to some random fucking person. I want my barbers. It's starting to piss me off royally. I was thinking about getting the fucking clippers and doing it myself, but I look like a fucking idiot if I do that. I guarantee it. I look like I've had a fucking... I don't know, man. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. But yeah, I look kind of crazy right now. Crazy D3, invite 2 of your exes in your yard and you get a pay-per-view worthy fight. Exactly, man. Yeah, big up to the Shepherd of Sons. I've not seen you for a while, man. Big up to Shepherd. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're keeping well in this crazy time we're living in. Exactly, Dragon Leg. Nothing better than crackhead fights. If you've ever seen a crackhead in the wild, they are next level. Like their reactions are so skittish. I mean, if you've ever seen a crackhead run, listen, their pace is something frightening. Honestly, they can run fucking fast. It's insane. They can run very fast. Oh yeah, Jay's Boxing Universe. Justin Gaethje in that Tony Ferguson fight, he beat the shit out of Tony Ferguson, man, and he wants to fight the best. That's what we want to see. I'm not the biggest MMA fan, but I enjoyed that. I've got to say, I enjoyed that. Yeah, Nordic. That's crazy, man. That's the worst timing. That's the worst timing. Exactly. Yeah, that's not an emergency though. I mean, come on now, Jesus. Crazy D3. He says shave your head. No way, man. I look like a fucking idiot if I shave my head. If I shave my head right, I'd look like a Serbian who's like fresh off a boat. That's what I'd look like. 100%. I'd look like a thug if I shaved my head. No way, man. I'm not gonna do it. I've never shaved my head once. I'm not gonna start now. No way. Yeah, Dominic. Yeah, man. Some chick fucking offered to cut my hair the other day, but I thought better of it. I turned her down. Do you know what I mean? I turned her down. She's not even a fucking hairdresser, so I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. Copendo9, what's Eddie Hearn really done for Boo Boo Andrade? Not much, really. He's got him active. He's got him active. I'll say that. But apart from that, I mean, he's not really got the big fights. I mean, the Golovkin fight, the Saunders fight. I know some of these fights are out of his control, but I'm not interested in seeing Andrade fight that Luke Keeler. Do you know what I mean? I like Andrade versus Liam Williams, though. I think that's a good fight. Liam Williams has been looking quite good recently. He's been punching hard. I am very skeptical on Liam Williams in terms of where these improvements have come from, but he's looking good. He's punching hard. He's aggressive. I want to see Andrade versus Liam Williams. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Exactly, Unrivaled. I'm the same. I'm the same. They are dragon leg. Crackheads are super fast. If you've ever seen a crackhead run, it's like it's surreal. It's surreal. It'd be like watching a fucking lion sprint after its prey. Just an amazing sight of nature to see a crackhead run. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, that's a good shout, Nordic. Andrade versus Jacobs. Andrade versus Derevyanchenko. Crazy D3. That's another good shout. I want to see Derevyanchenko fight Jamal Charlo, to be honest. Both of those guys are with the PBC. There's no reason why that fight can't happen. That'd be a great fight, you know? Charlo's a good puncher from long range, good straight punches, whereas Derevyanchenko's great on the inside, great up close. That's a great style clash. And Jamal Charlo needs to get off his ass and do something. If Charlo could beat Derevyanchenko, that's a hell of a win, and I'll give him credit for it. But right now, Charlo's doing nothing. Derevyanchenko's on the shelf. Andrade's doing nothing. Golovkin's, got his mandatory against a less than stellar competition. So middleweight right now is not looking great. Middleweight's not really looking that good right now. Nordic crackheads run fast because they're experienced at running from cops. Yeah. Yeah, Derevyanchenko. Yeah, that's it, actually. He's with Lou DiBella. Yeah. That is true, actually. That is true. Nordic Warrior, man. He's going in hard. Oh, yeah. Inoue versus Casemiro. That was cancelled. Yep. Unrivaled. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. Dell, where did this Liam Williams hype come from? He struggled with Beefy. Now people think he knocks out Golovkin. Why? Laugh out loud. I agree. I 100% agree, Unrivaled. Listen, Liam Williams, since the Beefy Smith fight, he's gone on a good run and he looks improved. But who's he really fought? Who's he really fought? John Mullender, Alantes, Fox. These guys are not exactly elite level fighters. He should be knocking these guys out, and he's doing that. We don't know what he's going to be like at world level. The only guy he's fought who's close to world level is Liam Smith. and he come up short both times. I'll tell you what a fight I would like to see from Liam Williams before he jumps in there with Andrade or someone like that. Liam Williams versus Selecki. I think that fight would genuinely tell us how much Liam Williams has improved, to be honest. That's the sort of fight where we can gauge if this guy's got any better, in my opinion. In my opinion. Yeah, Joe Mullender and Alantes Fox. That's it. That's it. Yeah, Nordic, man. People are going really mad on Liam Williams right now. They are going mad. I think he's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but people need to, simmer down a little bit. People need to simmer down. Yeah, I agree, Dominic. Williams versus Selecki. I think that fight would tell us a lot. It'll tell us a lot. Because, Selecki's a good fighter. He gave Danny Jacobs some real hard problems. He was very close with Danny Jacobs. I know Andrade kind of outboxed him, but Selecki's a good fighter. I tell you what, man, fucking talking don't half make you thirsty, man. Getting through this water like a fucking Arab in a desert. It's crazy. Crazy. Nordic Warrior, Golovkin has the best chin in boxing right now. I certainly think you can make the argument. I really believe you can make the argument. Canelo's got a pretty good chin as well. To be honest, I don't like Canelo, but I've got to give him credit for his chin. His chin is pretty solid. Who else is there with chins? Sorung Visai has got a pretty solid chin. Estrada. There's some good chins out there. There's some good chins. There's some good chins out there. J Rocks, he says Liam Williams is British level. It showed in the Smith fights for me. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, Liam Williams' best win is what? I mean, what's his best win? Mark Heffron, maybe? Like a British level guy. Alantes Fox, like a highly ranked fringe level contender. These are his best wins. So it's hard to judge where this guy's at right now, to be honest. Oh, yeah, Marius Wack's got a good chin, Crazy D3. That's a good shout. Marius Wack. Yeah, Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker's got a good chin as well. That is a good fight, Nordic. Jacobs versus Liam Williams. That is a very good fight. I think Jacobs has moved to 168 now, though. Danny Jacobs is calling out, what's his face? Caleb Plant. I think that'll be a solid fight as well. Yeah, Nordic, yeah. Marius Wack has a great chin. Marius Wack's chin looks like it's been carved out of fucking granite, literally. Best chin in boxing is Oliver McCall still. Fight me. Yeah, Oliver McCall had a great chin, man. Oliver had a great chin. The only time he got stopped was when he started to cry against Lennox Lewis and had a breakdown. That's the only time he got stopped. And even then, Lennox Lewis was hitting him when Oliver McCall wasn't defending himself. He still couldn't put McCall down. McCall had a good chin, no doubt. McCall had a good chin. Eric Gomez. I think I know who this guy is. I love your Twitter account, by the way. It's funny as fuck. Jay's Boxing Universe. Word on the street is Errol will fight Danny Garcia next. What do you make of the fight, considering we don't know where Spencer's at? Yeah, I think that's a good fight right now, to be honest. In fact, that's a fight in which I didn't really expect to happen next. If it does, I'll be pleasantly surprised. I fully expect Errol Spence to fight a cab driver next after what's happened. I fully expect him to fight like a Maurice Lee. If I was talking about Maurice Lee, someone like that, But yeah, if we get Danny Garcia, Errol Spence next, I'll be happy. And I do believe Danny Garcia could trouble Errol Spence right now because of what's gone on. If Danny Garcia is ever going to beat Errol Spence, it will be now. I think we can agree on that. Yeah, Valuev had a pretty good chin, Nordic. That's a good shout. Yeah, Danny Garcia does have a good chin, Max Kuckerman. He does. I don't really like Danny all that much. No, that's a lie, actually. I don't mind Danny. But Danny does have a good chin. Danny does have a good chin. Wack versus Johnson is such a random fight. Yes, sir, it is. But I'm going to look forward to it. I'm going to bet on that fight if we get any betting odds on that. I'm going to bet on it. Depending on the odds, obviously, but yeah, J Rocks, I agree. I've got Plant over Jacobs as well. I didn't think Jacobs looked that good against Chavez Jr., if I'm being honest. I didn't think he looked that good. Dell, have you found out why Darrell had no tears when he cried? Because he was acting, man. He was acting. Does Broner have a most underrated chin? Not the best, but people never mention it. Yeah, I can't stand Adrian Broner, but he does have a pretty good chin. I know he's been dropped by Maidana, but he can take a punch, Broner. He can definitely take a punch. He's got a good chin, no doubt. He's got a good chin. Yeah, Nordic, yeah. I think David Hay said when he hit Valuev, it was like hitting a brick wall. That guy's head was massive. That guy's head was massive, man. It's crazy. Yeah, Cop and I agree. If Danny loses against Plant, I think he would quit boxing. Oh, you mean Danny Garcia? Yeah, I don't know actually about Danny Garcia. They could still recycle Danny Garcia. Notorious King. I'm betting on the next half-decent opponent fights Spence next. Spence fights next. Sorry, yeah, that's a good shout. If Errol Spence fights anyone half-decent next in his comeback, it's worth betting on them. You never know. It's definitely worth betting on them, to be honest. Has anybody ever put Kevin Johnson on his back, like properly dropped him? Yeah, Joshua did. Joshua fucked him up, to be honest. That's a good knockout. Yeah, Nordic. Kevin Johnson versus Marius Wax seems like it's from 2010. Like we're going back in a time machine to see a great fight we never saw. 10 years too late. Oh, dear. Yeah, unrivaled. Yeah, Jose Cotto. Yeah, he buzzed Canelo. I'm not sure. I don't remember him being knocked down, though. Yeah, it wasn't official. I'll have to watch that back. Oh, yeah, Chisora dropped Kevin Johnson. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about the Chisora one. Yeah. Yeah, that was when Chisora was with Frank Warren. Yeah, I do recall that. I do recall that. Yeah, that it was an overhand shot. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, Manny Pacquiao's got a great chin. Max Kuckerman. Bear in mind the guy came up from what was it, light flyweight, and he's still taking punches at welterweight against guys like Keith Thurman. Like he was taking some flush punches from Keith Thurman, and he took those shots well. A 41-year-old welterweight who came up from flyweight. That's impressive. That's a good chin. That's a great chin. That's a very good chin. Yeah, man, that's a good shout. I always forget about Manny Pacquiao. It's weird because Manny Pacquiao, I just forget he's still fighting, man. I find it insane he's still fighting and still performing. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Yeah, J-Rocks, yeah. The Chavez fight wasn't great for Danny Jacobs. Yep, I agree. Imagine if David Price had Valuev's chin. That would be hilarious. David Price would be hard to beat if he had Valuev's chin. The only problem would be, the only issue is he'd still have a shit gas tank. He'd still have a terrible gas tank. So he'd still struggle, but he'd be much better, obviously. David Price, his chin is terrible, as we know, and he's got hamster lungs. Like that guy, man, he's got 2 rounds in him at most. Crazy stuff. David Price, though. David Price is my favourite crash test dummy in boxing. No doubt about it. He's my favourite. There's been so many great David Price moments. So many. So many. My favourite David Price moment was the Erkan Tepe knockout loss. And it was the commentator's reaction. And I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's funny as hell, man. Ah, shit. Jesus Christ. Oh, Vitaly Klitschko had a very good chin, no doubt. Andy Ruiz does have a good chin, Vader. Yep, Ruiz does have a good chin. Who's the better? Yeah, who's the better actor, Malik Scott or Golovkin? Yeah, that's a tough one. Probably Malik. No, I don't know actually. Yeah, Malik Scott. Malik Scott. Price is more recyclable than plastic. Yeah. Listen, man. If you're Eddie Hearn and you've got a pay-per-view card, the undercard is falling apart before you, what do? Get David Price on fucking speed dial, stick him in there with a big puncher, jobs are good and sorted. That's all you need to do. He's perfect. He's perfect. There are still fights out there I want to see David Price in. I want to see David Price versus F.A. Ajagba. I want to see David Price versus Arslanbek Makhmudov. I want to see David Price versus Deontay Wilder after Wilder loses again. These are fights I want to see. Just out of morbid curiosity. Yeah. We'd all watch them. We'd all watch them. Let's be honest. We'd all watch these fights. You can say I'm sick. You can say I'm a sick fuck, but you would all watch these fights, man, that I'm reeling off. All of you would watch Deontay Wilder versus David Price. Come off it. You'd all watch it. Yeah, big up to Big Boys Boxing, man. Very good channel. Check out Big Boys Boxing. And check out Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. And check out Nordic Warrior Boxing. Check out all of these guys, man. Oh, yeah, Povetkin knocked David Price into another dimension. No doubt about it. Like, when David Price lifted his head up from that second knockdown, the left hook, like it was almost like he was like waking up from a long weekend bender. Like, do you know what I mean? Lennox aside, who really got to Vitali's chin. Corey Sanders tagged him up a few times. Lennox himself tagged him up. Samuel Peter caught him a couple of times. Vitali actually had a pretty good defense, it's got to be said. His defense was pretty nice. He could keep out of range really well. He was awkward. You know, he had weird feints as well. Oh, unrivaled, man. Watching David Price versus Povetkin with my friends who are casuals was a great experience. They were so fucking buzzing when David Price knocked back Povetkin. And a round later, the dude was sleeping, man. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious, man. Oh, dear, man. I remember my friend's reaction, man. He's like... Oh, fucking hell. Man, that is a good fucking night, man. That is a really good night, man. Jesus. Fucking hell. Listen, man, I'm not going to insult David Price. What I will say is this. He has been great entertainment. There's no doubt about it. David Price has delivered in regards to pure entertainment. Nobody can deny that. Every single time I've watched David Price fight, I've never felt shortchanged. I've never felt my time was robbed. I always felt entertained. That's one thing I'll give David Price. Whatever that's worth, I'll give that to David Price. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When Povetkin got hurt. Sorry, when Povetkin hurt Price, yeah, Price was just standing there waiting to be fatality'd. Yeah, MB, 100%. 100%. Oh, dear. Yeah, Price does seem like a nice guy, to be fair. He seems too nice to be a boxer. Yeah, GB boxing. Watching boxing with casuals it's not all that bad. A lot of people say it's terrible. It can be pretty fun if the fights are good. It's when the fights are shit, you're the only real hardcore boxing fan, and they're complaining how shit the fight is. You just want to watch it still, and they're just fucking complaining. That's when it gets bad. That's when it gets bad. I remember watching Klitschko Fury with my friends. All of these guys are casuals. I was like hyping this fight up. I was saying to them, we need to buy this fight before we go out. We bought the fight. The fight was late anyway because the fight it kind of got delayed. It was a kind of a late starting point. But the fight started round after round after round. Everyone in the room was getting more restless, more restless, more restless. And I was sitting there like, fuck's sake. What have I done? I'd rather be out, man. But yeah. Watching boxing with casuals is either great or terrible. It depends on the fights. It depends on the fights. Yep. White versus Elenius. That was terrible. That was awful. Awful fight. No doubt about it. Another terrible fight was Lawrence Okole versus Mete Yaskin. That fight was horrible. That fight just sucked all of the atmosphere out of a room. Again, that was another fight I watched with casuals, and fuck me, that was bad. That was bad. Fuck me. Jackal Davis, he says, Dell, who do you have between Lipinets and Akhmadaliev? Do you mean Abdu Kakarov and Lipinets? If that's the fight you're on about, I've got Lipinets, to be honest. I think Lipinets beats Abdu Kakarov. Yo, big up to Sporting Advantage. Hopefully you're doing well. We've got Notorious King in here as well. Yeah, Nordic Warrior, I agree. Dave Allen should be in the Hall of Fame for getting publicity despite doing bugger all. Yeah, I'm sick of Dave Allen, to be honest with you. I'm sick of Dave Allen. There, I said it. I don't like Dave Allen that much. Yeah, Coben 09, Luis Collazo, sorry, was a pretty good fighter. I felt Louis Collazo beat Ricky Hatton, to be honest. I felt Ricky Hatton got a fortunate decision that night. I felt Louis Collazo beat Andre Berto when Berto was unbeaten. So, Collazo back in the day was a good fighter. He was an awkward kind of fighter, his southpaw. Solid fighter. Yeah, exactly, Big Boys Boxing. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with your statement there. I can watch a fight that's boring, like Fury versus Fury Klitschko, for example. In the moment, I didn't think that fight was boring because I was expecting something to happen. So I was still really invested in the fight. But everyone around me is fucking complaining, and it takes me out of it, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly, Dominic Chechery. But Dave Allen's a nice guy, yeah. I can't stand Dave Allen. I can't stand Dave Allen. Like Nordic said, he's an attention seeker. That's what he is, man. He's an attention seeker. I plan on making a video on not Dave Allen per se, but what Dave Allen does. The tactic he uses to get popularity. Can't stand it. I plan on making a video. I've been planning it for a while, but just not got around to it. To be honest, not got around to it. Yeah, Collazo was good back in his day. Yeah, I felt he beat Andre Berto as well. I felt he beat Ricky Hatton. Oh yeah, smash the like, lads. Big Boys Boxing says so. Smash the like. Oh yeah, he beat Sammy Vasquez. He beat Victor Ortiz as well, I believe. Yeah, Dave Allen's famous for being famous. 100%. 100%. Yeah, Max. Canelo Kovalev was boring until that knockout. It was very boring. Not I wouldn't say it was super boring actually, but it wasn't a great fight. Wasn't a great fight. Crazy D3. He wants to see Dubois ice Dave Allen. Yeah, I'd watch that, to be honest. I'd watch that. That's one thing I like about Dubois. He's letting his boxing do the talking. Yeah, he's fighting a low level of competition right now, but he's knocking these guys out like he should do. And, now he's taking his step up against Joe Joyce. That's what I want to see, man. I want to see devastating knockouts, and I want to see you actually show me you've got ambition. That's what I want to see from fighters. And Dubois is doing that right now. How far he goes, listen, we can only really speculate right now, but Dubois is doing the right things at the minute. No doubt. No doubt. GV Boxing, now this is a good point. Is Dave really a big ticket seller and a draw like Eddie says? If so, he'd be headlining Doncaster selling a few thousand tickets, 100%. I don't think Dave Allen is this big star. He's a big star on social media and things like that. But does that really translate into ticket sales and things like that? I'm not sure. It doesn't necessarily, to be honest. Yeah, Victor Ortiz was very disappointing, Nordic. He used to get hyped a lot, man. And then Marcus Maidana sorted him out, and that was really it, to be honest. That was really it. After the Maidana fight, he beat Berto. That was a good fight. That's the only fight he showed heart in against Andre Berto. That was his night. But apart from that fight, Victor Ortiz, man, didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. Oh, yeah, crazy D3. They was talking about Dave Allen, dazzling Dave Allen versus Alexander Povetkin. Absolute embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, sorry. Crazy. Crazy, man. Dave Allen would have got fucking killed against Povetkin. He would have got murdered. And then he fucking gets outboxed and schooled by David Price. Speaking of David Price, we'll go back to him. That's another one of my favourite David Price moments when he started leaning back, popping the jab. My man David Price was fucking pulling a shoulder roll on Dave Allen. He schooled Dave Allen. That was beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch. Big up to Sugar David Price. Jab Dave Allen's head off. Yeah, listen, I'm sure Dave Allen's a nice guy, but I just don't like what he brings to boxing. I don't. I really don't. I wouldn't have such a problem with Dave Allen if he actually trained hard and took it serious, man. You know what I mean? If he trained hard and still come up short, I've got nothing wrong, no problem at all. No problem. But don't come in there looking like fucking Homer Simpson every time. Try and train. You've got a great opportunity. You're getting fights you don't really deserve. At least fucking train. Jesus. At least train. Christ. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, Coppin 09, I agree, man. Like, Dave Allen, I don't know where to start with Dave Allen, to be honest. I think Dave Allen could be a video in itself. I really do. I don't want to get into it with Dave Allen. I want to save it for a video. I want to save it for a video, to be honest. Yeah, I do apology. Yeah, back in those times, David Price versus Tyson Fury. That was the big fight in the UK. In terms of a heavyweight division, Price versus Fury. That was a massive fight. But Tyson Fury, yeah, he fought Martin Rogan instead. Yeah, and that's the only. Yeah, you could argue David Price got ducked by Tyson Fury way back when. Yeah, yeah, that was it. Rogan was for the Irish title. Imagine if Dave Allen joins the live stream. Bro, Dave Allen, man, he needs to settle down. He needs to settle down. Yeah, Price beat Fury in the amateurs. I think Tyson Fury dropped David Price, but he lost the fight, I believe. I believe that's what happened. Oh yeah, apology. Everyone wanted to see that fight back then. I was one of a few people, believe it or not. I was actually picking Tyson Fury to beat David Price way back when. I was picking Tyson Fury to beat Price. Back in those days, people forget. People really, really forget. David Price was supposed to be the guy who would go on to become the heavyweight champion, not Tyson Fury. You know, people were really high on David Price. People forget how much the hype was. People forget. David Price was the 2012 ESPN Prospect of the Year. Not Sky Sports Prospect of the Year. Not fucking BT Prospect of the Year. ESPN Prospect of the Year. David Price, 2012. That's how much this guy was hyped. People forget. People forget. People really forget. Oh yeah, no doubt, Nordic Warrior. Rogan was a much better fighter than Dave Allen. Much better. Much better fighter. He was pretty fun to watch as well, Martin Rogan. Notorious King. Why did Tyson Fury do that? I don't think his team necessarily had confidence in him back then, to be honest. You know, he was kind of changing trainers. He just got with Peter Fury. I think they was ironing things out, to be honest. I don't think they was ready for that sort of fight. I don't think they was ready for it. But you know, in the long run, I guess they made the right decision, because look at the two careers. Tyson Fury is the WBC heavyweight champion, lineal heavyweight champion, unbeaten. You know, got two really good wins right now over Klitschko and Wilder. So maybe, it was obviously the right career path. Fucking hell, my voice went then. Got coronavirus, man. Got coronavirus. Weirdly, Nordic Warrior, I was a much bigger Fury fan back then. I really, really liked Tyson Fury. He was a fun fighter to watch. He got involved in brawls. I kind of fell out of favour with Tyson Fury as the years have gone by, to be honest. I kind of fell out of favour with Tyson Fury. But back in the day, I was a big Tyson Fury fan. He was my favourite British heavyweight after David Haye. You know, after he retired, Tyson Fury was my guy. But yeah, I kind of just over the years, he's just not for me, man. I respect his talent, but yeah, not really for me, man. Not really for me. Yeah, Tyson Fury. I think when Tyson Fury beat Chisora the second time, that's when people really stood back and thought, "Fuck me, this guy can actually really, really box." Actually, no, the Kevin Johnson fight. I know Kevin Johnson's not a great fighter, but Tyson Fury boxed really well that night behind his jab. He was moving well. He was quick. He was athletic. He boxed really well that night, and that's when I first saw people say, "Actually, do you know what? Tyson Fury's a solid fighter. He could actually do something." Yeah. Yeah, Nordic. I always used to like David Hay, to be honest. I always think with David Hay, the guy should have really stuck around at cruiserweight, to be honest. I wish he stuck around at cruiserweight, fought guys like Steve Cunningham, Marco Hook, Thomas Adamek. He could have built a really good cruiserweight resume if he stuck around. But, obviously he chose for money. I don't blame him, to be honest. I always knew he was a mercenary. I just liked his style back in the day, you know. I liked his style of fighting. Oh yeah, yeah. I agree, Nordic as well. David Hay now. I don't think he's a bad pundit. I don't think he's the best by any means, but like he's certainly better than the likes of Johnny Nelson, Tony Bellew, Matthew Macklin, Darren Barker. Fuck me. I mean, those guys really are bottom of the barrel TV pundits. They're terrible. David Hay's not that bad. He's not great, but he's not that bad. Yeah, that's the thing. Apology. David Hay wanted to be a celebrity boxer. He was more about the limelight, getting famous. Having that notoriety. That was David Hay's main motivation. To be honest, to be a big household name, more so than being a great fighter, and that's what really let him down, in my opinion. 4-7, big up to 4-7. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're keeping well. Nice to see you here. Yep, Hay was going to fight Manuel Shah at one point. Yep, he was going to fight Manuel Shah, the Diamond Boy. I think they call him. They call him the Diamond Boy. Jesus, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I can't stand Sky commentary Nordic. To be honest, I really can't. Cannot stand them. Yeah, Carl Froch, he's a terrible commentator. Can't score a fight to save his life. I've never seen a guy use so many 10-10 rounds. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not the biggest Froch fan in terms of commentary. I liked him. I liked Carl Froch as a fighter, but yeah, as a commentator, man, he's really really grating. To be honest, he's really grating. Apparently, Hay has body dysmorphia. Always saw himself as skinny, no matter how much muscle he has. Yeah, he's like that though. He's very vain. He's a very vain individual, David Hay. He kind of comes across that way. Although, having said that, like when I met David Hay for one time, he's actually a sound guy. Like he made time for fans and that. So that sort of thing, when the cameras are not on and a fighter makes time for people, that always goes down well in my book. To be honest, like he was actually making time for people and speaking about various things in his career. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah, Richie Woodhall's terrible, man. I'm glad you mentioned that, Notorious King. He's awful. I'm glad you said that. A lot of people like Richie Woodhall. I don't understand. I can't lie. I don't understand. Fucking hell. Jesus. Yeah, MB. Yeah, he's in the camp of saying Richie Woodhall's good. He's knowledgeable, but something about that dude, man. Something about that dude. One commentator I really don't like. I really liked this guy as a fighter, but as a commentator, cannot stand him. Tim Bradley. I think he's a terrible commentator. Awful. He gets hyped up, but fuck. I think he's bad. Nordic saying Andre Ward. Andre Ward for me is either spot on or way off a mark. He's never consistent, man. One fight he's really, really solid. The next he's terrible. For me anyway. That's just my opinion. Boxing Virus, he likes Tim Bradley. I'm not a fan of Bradley as a commentator. Yeah, I still think Showtime have the best commentary, to be honest, MB. I agree. Al Bernstein is a very good commentator. Steve Farhood is the only guy there I don't really like that much. Just the look of that guy just winds me up for some reason. But like his scorecards sometimes are a little bit out there for me. But yeah, Showtime are pretty good. Showtime are pretty good with commentary. Malinagi's a really good commentator when he's not commentating on a fight where he's got no investment in. If Paulie Malignaggi is commentating on a fight where he doesn't really care who wins, he's very good. He's very good. But yeah, Paulie can get a bit emotionally attached. Yeah, Larry Merchant was hilarious, man. Apology. He was funny. What I liked about Larry Merchant, he wasn't one of these commentators in which you heard him speak every other fucking second. He was very selective when he spoke, and when he spoke, it always stood out. You know, it always stood out. And he was brutal with his honesty. Whether you thought he was right or wrong is neither here nor there. He always, you know, never censored himself. Never was shy to share his opinion, and that's ultimately what it's all about. There's very few commentators like that these days. Yeah, Boxing Virus. George Foreman was hilarious. He was funny as fuck. Lennox Lewis was a terrible commentator. That's one who's bad. Yeah, Jay's Boxing Universe. I'm glad you mentioned that. Sean Porter. I forget which fight I heard him on, but he was a very good commentator. I forget what fight it was. I don't know what fight it was, but Sean Porter was pretty good, to be fair. Yeah, Ray Leonard. Yeah, Ray Leonard was bad. Ray Leonard was terrible. Who else did I like, though? Who else did I like? If we're talking about UK, Ian Darke was pretty good on Sky back in the day. Ian Darke was good. Jim Watt, I didn't think was that bad. Glenn McCrory was pretty good back in the day. They were pretty good commentators. Oh yeah, Emmanuel Stewart was great. Emmanuel Stewart, Larry Merchant, Jim Lampley, those guys were amazing together. Even Max Kellerman back then was, you can tolerate him. Like when Max Kellerman was with Emmanuel Stewart and Larry Merchant, they toned him down. Do you know what I mean? Now these guys are gone. Like he's terrible. He's terrible. Yeah, Enzo Macronelli, he's pretty good actually. He's not too bad. He's not too bad at all. One that really disappointed me was Andy Lee. Andy Lee, he's more of a pundit than a commentator. But when Andy Lee first went on Sky, I felt he was very honest, down the middle. But after a few Sky cards, the guy started towing the company line. I was really, really disappointed in Andy Lee. I can't lie. Oh yeah, apology. HBO Face Off. That is what Max was best at. Because Max Kellerman is like he's like a little woman. He's like an instigator. He's good at that sort of stuff, you know, the face off stuff. The best HBO face off, in my opinion, was Margarito Cotto. That was very good. What else was good? Have you guys seen Provodnikov, Mike Alvarado, the HBO face off? If you've not seen it, go and watch it. That was very good as well. That was good. I liked that one, man. Max Beta Male Kellerman. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Max Kellerman, man. Some of the stuff he comes out with. I'm glad he's not covering boxing anymore. I like 47. He says he likes Frampton. I'm not. Have I heard Frampton commentate? I'm sure I have. I don't really remember it though. I can't lie. Yeah, Provodnikov Alvarado was very good. And what Provodnikov said in that face-off was true. He said, I'm paraphrasing, but in the face-off on HBO, he said, this fight is not about skill. It's not about technique. It's simply about will. Whoever breaks the other will win this fight. And that's what happened. He broke Alvarado. He broke his will. and he won the fight. That's exactly what happened. That was a great, great face-off because Provodnikov basically foreshadowed what's going to happen. That was very good, man. Very good. Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, Max does kind of cover boxing on ESPN. But, I mean, I don't really count that as covering boxing when you've got Stephen A. Smith there with you, to be honest. It's all like sensationalism kind of thing. Yeah, I heard Provodnikov apparently is coming back, Nordic. He's in talks of making a comeback. I don't really want to see that, to be honest. Provodnikov, he was fun while he lasted, but man, he took a lot of punishment, and his style is just not one of those styles which is like long lasting, to be honest. I'd rather see Provodnikov stay away. Even in his last fight against John Molina, you could tell that guy was faded, to be honest. He was faded. Yeah, no doubt, Nordic. Yep, no doubt. Provodnikov knew exactly what he was. And listen, man, listen. Provodnikov's career, let's look at a couple of his losses. He clearly lost to John Molina. I think we can all agree with that. But if you watch his other three losses, he lost to Herrera. That fight was extremely close. I felt Provodnikov won. He lost to Tim Bradley, in that fight, he knocked down Bradley twice, one which wasn't called. So if that knockdown was called, he would have won that fight. And also Chris Algieri, that was another really close fight. 3 of those 4 losses, Provodnikov could have arguably won, you know? So the guy didn't have all the best luck either. That has to be said. He didn't have the best luck. Yeah, Apology said that as well. Yeah, sorry, I missed Apology's comment. He said he should have got the win over Algieri. I agree, man. I agree. I loved that Bradley Provodnikov fight, though. Both of those guys let it all hang out, man. That's a great fight. That was fight of the year for 2013, no doubt about it. I missed the Matisse loss. Yeah, Matisse beat him as well. Matisse was decisive. Matisse and John Molina, they decisively beat Provodnikov. But the other losses were pretty close, in my opinion. They were close. Matisse Provodnikov, that was a good fight as well. I think Provodnikov took a lot out of Matisse in that fight. I think they both took out what was left of each other in that fight. Provodnikov and Matisse. I think they fucked each other up. It was a good fight though, really good fight. Dwyer and his red caps laugh out loud. Oh dear. I'm gonna check that out, Nordic. I'm gonna check it out. That's a good fight though. Provodnikov Algieri. That was a good fight. Man. I miss fighters like that. I miss Marcus Maidana. I miss Provodnikov. I like these sort of fighters. To be honest, I like these sort of guys. We need somebody along those lines coming through at welterweight. You know, like a Margarito type, a Paul Williams, somebody who just lets it all hang out. That's what I want to see at welterweight. Someone like that. But, you know, we'll see what happens, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see. Bruh. Diaz a funny dude, man. Yeah, Paul Williams, he was a good fighter. He was a good fighter. Like, he beat Margarito when Margarito was in his prime, so that was a good win. Paul Williams, man, he never fucking used his height and reach, though. He loved to brawl. He loved to brawl. Yep. John Molina, he knocked out Ivan Redkach before Danny Garcia fought him. Yep. J-Rocks, Provodnikov and Matisse did what Roddick and Tyson did to each other, caved each other's heads in like Coogan did to Prince Patel. Yeah. Coogan Cassius picking on 5-stone boxers. Man down. Oh dear. But yeah, man, I miss like random fighters. Like I miss Marcus Maidana. I do miss Provodnikov. I miss Sergio Martinez. Who else did I really like? Glenn Johnson was another weird one I miss. Who else? I kind of miss Tim Bradley actually as well. There's a lot of fighters who have retired recently that I miss. Juan Manuel Marquez, Ramanathan. Yeah, man. But yeah, bros. Oh, hang on. Fucking hell. Crazy D3. He went there. Paul Williams versus Gerald McClellan in a wheelchair boxing match. Paul Williams. He's got a lot more cognitive ability right now than Gerald McClellan. A lot more cognitive ability. So, yeah, I've got Paul Williams all day. Paul Williams. Yeah, Bivol has a good chin, GB boxing, in my opinion. He's got a good chin. He got caught by Joe Smith, man, and he took it quite nicely. So he's got a good chin. Anyway, lads, I'm going to wrap this one up. You know, I planned on going an hour. We've gone an hour and 5 minutes. So yeah, man. Oh fuck me, Paul Williams versus Stephen Hawkins. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Just a quick one. I might go again at some point this week, but got a busy one this week with working from home. But yeah, still a busy one. So we'll see what happens. I'll try and do it again. But if we can't, we can't. We can. It is what it is. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Peace.